you know Army?
Do you know Army? Do you know Army?
I'm Sarah.
I'm Mako.
Zoe. And Buana.
And we are Worldwide Army TV.
Woo-hoo!
We are back on our next part of talking about the Permission to Dance concerts in LA.
Yep.
Which we attended the last two concerts taking place on December 1st and December 2nd.
Yes,
and
we
our last episode was about the whole trip in SoFi Stadium. So now we're here to do the fun part, which is going to be all about how it was to see the boys for the first time.
How I screamed my butt off.
Yep, in over 2 years, in person, with our own eyeballs.
Oh
my God.
We were so very, and we mentioned this in our pre-podcast of going to LA. We were so very blessed to get the tickets that we got, and for all of us in our group, and for both days. But until we got in there, I didn't realize how good. I had done a lot of research of find your seat at SoFi Stadium. And you could go online and find your seat at SoFi Stadium and get a view of this is where that person sat when they were at this event, see how it looks. I did that like 15 times on different sites just to get a feel of how is my view going to be. But then when I got in there, I'm like, wow, the view was amazing. Because there's a main stage and it juts out, and then you got the smaller stage, and we could see it.
We should explain too, before we separate the days, where we sat in day one, where we sat in day two.
Yeah, our days were different from day one and day two because the ticket buying experience, we said that we just went in and just got what we could get.
Yeah, but we still had some standard because I refused to go to anything that was above 2.
Yeah, so I think day one we were all in 2, and then day 2 we were all in 1.
In the 100s.
In the 100s section level. And it was an amazing experience. I wanted to do this wholeheartedly because it's historical. It's going to go down in the books that BTS had to take off for 2 years because of the pandemic, and everybody had to take off for 2 years because of the pandemic. And then this was the official concert of coming back after the pandemic. So that's going to go down in the books, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I'm so very grateful that I was able to be a part of that. So I'm going to start because I'm not going to be in this podcast throughout the entire thing because I have other obligations. So I'm going to start with my experience of the concert and the guys themselves. I'm just going to dive right into that. I got a lot of different things from the guys, from each and every one of them. And I have been watching their V-Lives just like everybody else, watching their V-Lives to see how they've been doing leading up to the concert, so forth and so on. I could stop and say, okay, this is how I took Namjoon, this is how I took V, this is how I took Jimin, this is what I saw, such and such, what they gave on the stage. I've seen them pre-pandemic on the stage and give a certain level of this and that. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. My take at this concert was not that same level. It was not what I'd experienced before from a BTS concert, from our guys. It was amazing. It was. Just the mere fact of us coming together again as a family. However, the performance itself, it was not the same. It just wasn't. Now, I'm going to give that to, we're coming out of pandemic. This was their first time, coming out onto the stage and being before live eyeballs. So I'm going to give that to that. But somebody, I can't remember who it was, said this was more like us just jamming together.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that. I don't know if it was Zoe or Tink, but
that's a great way to put it.
This was not a standard
BTS concert.
I'm going to do this on the set list, and I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, then I'm going to do this. They did go by that, and I love the fact that they had decided to all be on the stage the entire time, so we didn't get any solos. I say I love the fact, but I did miss the solos part. I did. And when we walked away from the first concert and we were talking that night about what did you get from this? What did you get from that? I did mention, I think that night, that I kind of felt a little unfulfilled because I didn't get any solos. And because some of the songs were just partially done because they gave us so much. They wanted to give us so much. It was a taste here, a taste of that, a taste of this. But being hardcore long-term Army like I've been, when you get started with a taste of something, it's unsatisfying when you don't finish that taste of something. But that was my initial take and walk away on it. And when somebody mentioned the other day, hey, it was just like us jamming, I thought, yes, that's why this experience was different from previous concert experience with the guys. Because previous concert experience with the guys was like them feeding us. And this is my perspective of it. us going wild and giving the energy right back to them is something that we do. We strive to do that because they feed off of that. They do. So that's what I'm used to. This one really was like us just jamming. I'm going to say this before I finish. Namjoon, you left it all on the stage. You left it all with us. I mentioned this when we did a podcast as far as Namjoon was concerned, and how I feel like for quite some time he's been trying to find his position within himself between Rapmon, him changing his name, the type of music he puts out. The last mix album was completely different from the first mix album, so forth and so on. And I felt like for a while now he's been trying to find that happy medium within himself as far as he goes. I mentioned this and I said, man, I think you found it. When I saw Persona at the last time, I'm like, you found it. You found that comfortable spot for you. You told us a long time ago that Ranch Rhonda and Rapmon, there was both characters of you that was inside of you. And then came Moonchild, and then came that softer side of you and a different experience you were giving us. But at this concert, I could see completely that you were like, forget it. I'm here. I am who I am. You are who you are. We need one another, and I'm gonna just be me. You were more like you in this concert experience than I have ever seen you give to us. You just talked. You just talked and you felt good and you felt comfortable, and I didn't see any hesitation. I loved that, I think, almost the most. The comments at the end stuck with me, and I think I'm the only one that walked away with this take on those comments, because as I began to ask it, everybody else was like, no, I didn't take it that way. The comments at the end almost seemed like to me that Jimin and Namjoon were saying, guys, because of things that are coming up, we have no idea when we're going to be able to see you again. And that stunned me. I began to listen, and then of course I, like everybody else, started crying as soon as Namjoon started crying.
Right.
But as I'm listening, I'm thinking, are y'all actually telling us that you plan to do something after this, but then you were just given the word that it was not going to happen? So now you're really pouring your heart out, like, this may be the last time for a long time that we actually get to see you guys. And when I say you guys, when they think of Army, they think of Army Worldwide. To them, when they were looking at us, they were looking at all of Army Worldwide. And for them to say something like, we don't know when the next time is that we're going to see you guys, that floored me. And I was just stunned listening to the rest of it. Then we got to Yoongi, who was like, we're going to see y'all soon. We're going to do this. We're going to, hang in there, so forth and so on. I was like,
so some mixed messages there.
I'm like, maybe I took it the wrong way. So I'm very anxious to see what is coming. When the guys separated after the concert, and then some of them went home, and then some of them stayed here in the States, we came home, and I went through what every Army has experienced if you are a concert-going Army. We got home on a Friday, and we had the weekend to rest up before we went back to work. And that weekend, I was depressed.
Right.
You began to go through withdrawals. And of course, that weekend, like any concert-going Army, you are on a high after the concert, especially if you're traveling. Then when you get home and everything is silent, you're like, what happened? What just happened? And you feel a hole inside of you again. So I had to regroup from that, and then immediately get online and start watching everything, recapping from the concert. That's what you do.
Because I didn't watch anything
You
before.
live it all over again, and you're trying to grasp hold of that same high. It's like a drug. And went through all of that, then had to go back to reality to work. Ugh. But I find myself, as the days are going by, I am waiting, even though some of them went home. Some of them, Namjoon is here in Texas. Yes! Woo! That blew my mind. That settled my heart.
Not all throughout Texas.
Yes, that just, I
Come
just
on to Austin.
love it.
Namjoon.
I love the fact that his first stop was
He could
Texas.
be in Austin. We don't know that.
I know, right?
Look,
I
call
love
us.
I love the
feature.
fact that they all have their own Instagram now, that they are extremely active on. Some of them not
Yeah,
so
they really
active.
whopped us with that as soon as we got back.
Yeah,
Huh?
and that was good because they began to feed us. I'm really counting the days, waiting for somebody to tell us exactly what's going to happen next, because I know we have something coming in March. We can all watch it, I'm sure, online. And K Army, I'm so happy for you that you guys are going to get to see them again after so long. So happy for that. So I know that is still on, but I'm still waiting for the word of what's the actual plan for the upcoming year, for the beginning of the upcoming year.
Yeah,
Beyond
for the
that,
upcoming year,
so
yeah.
I'm my ears and eyes are open to everything on my phone when it pings. I'm like, what? Ping what? Ping what? Lately, it's been just the guys on Instagram, so which is wonderful. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. That is mostly my entire take on the actual concert itself. It was amazing. Oh, one other thing. This was my first experience being able to actually almost see the pores on their skin and actually get to where I'm like, I saw all of Hobie's teeth, all 32 of them. I promise you got 32 of them. I saw Min Yoongi's box smile for myself. I saw it. It wasn't on a screen. It was him.
She's saying because if you've seen any of the clips, at some point the boys get on carts and
Yeah,
they go
and
around
they
the
go around.
perimeter of the floor.
You guys have no idea how long I've been waiting for that. I have been waiting for that for eons. And yes, they do it. They've done it before, but they've never done it here like that. And I had been waiting for that. And when I saw that first night that they did that, and I just knew the second night we were going to be even closer.
In the section in front of them.
My heart was just, I was dying. Everything inside of me was like, I don't care what we've gone through in LA. I don't care what we've gone through with SoFi. This was worth it. Oh my God. That was amazing. Thank you guys I don't know who pulled that out of their pocket and said, look,
that was amazing.
We got to get as close as we can get. I think if they could have taken those carts up another row and gone through every single row and done a circle with every single level, they would have done that.
Shoot, get a crane up in there.
They actually would have done that. But I was very, very grateful.
Around, so.
I was also grateful. My first concert going experience, Text, was actually there. And they were up in the skybox. And they were there, enjoying the concert with us. That was great. That was wonderful. I'm like, oh my God, Text is here. And this is when they had just started. Just debuted. So this one,
do they know them as Text or TXT?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
but
I think
if you say Text,
yeah.
I love the fact that Halsey was there bang-tanging with us. And she was getting her bang-tang on. She was doing the damn thing.
She was. And then they just threw the camera on and she was like mid-bang. She was mid-ball. It was like,
she was like, well, the camera's on me.
They weren't supposed to know I was here.
So I love that. I wanted Coldplay so bad. I loved that the other armies got Meg the Stallion. That was wonderful for them to experience. I wanted Coldplay so bad and was just in total shock and chaos within me when they closed the show with them. I was like, this could not get any better. If I died stepping out of SoFi, I would be okay. But then Coldplay started, my universe started up, and my whole world just opened up all over again.
It was awesome.
That was amazing. Thank you, Coldplay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And when they get home?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My mind went blank when they went.
When they get home, there are certain things over the years that we've been like, oh my God, we got to see this. We got to see that. We got to experience
home live.
this. We got home. We got stuff that we have never gotten before. And that was an amazing, beautiful.
You can't see Zoe or Sarah, but both of them are jamming.
I'm back in the concert. I got my phone in my hand.
When Zoe and I heard home and just looked at each other like, am I living right now or is this a dream? Oh my God.
We've been waiting a long time for them to actually experience them do Home.
Yeah, Home has been one of my favorite songs, and
I know Bianca was.
That was like you waiting on
looking for
Dimple years ago. You
Dimple.
were always waiting on Dimple, and we finally got it.
It was even crazy. Oh, well, you finished.
Oh, well,
You
yeah.
have
Let
to
me
go.
stop. I'm gonna stop and say the other one I wanted to point out was Min Yoongi. Min Yoongi, Sugar.
Oh, he spit fire.
Boy, you did the damn thing. You on every corner you went to, you threw it out there. Man, I honestly did not expect you to go as hard as you did. I expected different things on different levels from each of you.
different members, yeah.
But Sugar, you did the damn thing. You gave it to us with everything you had inside of you, and I appreciate that. You left it on the stage. You, Bratman, y'all just Hobie, y'all left it on the stage.
Hobie's English.
Oh my God, that was just amazing. He was nonstop English. He did the damn thing.
He was rambling.
Of course,
He was
yes, rambling in English. That was beautiful. But of course, we all know the more you use a skill, the better you get at it. And
Absolutely.
he is doing the damn thing.
Literally.
Jimin, I'm just gonna put it out there and be honest. I honestly feel like there is some. I don't know the right word to use about this because I don't want it to have a negative connotation, because it's not negative. It's you being human. It's you being who you are. I honestly feel like right now you're going through some things. And despite the fact that we are coming post-pandemic, you started going through some things before this concert was announced. You started, and you haven't fully pulled yourself out of it. I'm not saying it affected your performance at the concert. What I am saying is, bro, I felt it still there. I saw it all on you. I see it in you. And I just hope whatever it is, you're going to come through it, come out of it, and let Army be there with you and for you. But your performance was amazing. It was. I love seeing you. I love seeing you, man. I love
the bing.
Oh yes, a little golf flag.
Yeah. I love seeing your that little playfulness did come out of you a little bit on stage. You gave that to us, and I love being able to be there and experience it.
Yeah, as long as you can forget your worries when you're with us.
That's what he told us. So for tonight, forget all your worries
I
and
think
be with us.
Exactly what Juana said. Like, you could really feel that he had stuff on his mind in the way that he said that. When he said that, I really felt like he was saying that to us and like relating to it.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think because he's been the most inactive on their Instagram, I thought the McNay line was going to be the most active, and that is not the case.
No.
But for him not to be active, almost not active at all, that is very surprising to me. And I think for me, it reaffirms what I've been feeling since before the concert, and that is something's going on within you. And I just shout out to you, man. Thank you for giving it all to us at the concert. I love you. We love you. And just let Army go through that with you, and we're going to come out on the other side.
Absolutely.
We're going to come out on the other side.
Absolutely.
All right. That's my take on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would wait till.
All right, so Juana has just left, and this is strange doing this with the three of us, but we've still got a lot to go over.
Oh my goodness.
To explain to you, day one, we sat in the 200s, okay? And day two, we sat in the 100s.
Yep.
Day one, we were all together, but day two, we were split up. So Mimi sat...
Day one, we were all together, but initially one of us sat apart, and Zoe found a good old lonely Army and asked her if she wanted to sit closer. Because Bawana was actually, 5 rows ahead?
Yeah, Bawana was a lot closer to the front, but she switched with an Army to be closer to our group. So we were together the first day, and I guess we'll just do it day by day because I don't want this to be confusing for the listeners. But so day one, I feel like for me, it was very much just trying to get out all of the emotions of I am looking at the boys with my eyes. It's been 2 years.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's you guys right there. Oh, I'm here.
They're healthy. They're fine.
Yes. I would say that I really, really enjoyed the second day even more, but the first day was very much like getting all of that out, right? Like, really.
Oh my God. I think we can all agree with this. The first day was definitely the energized day because I could not feel my body for the second day.
Yeah, that's true.
I literally jumped and flung my body in ways that I didn't know could be flung the entire concert. And I truly was in some severe pain afterwards. So all of my energy went out in the first day.
I think our energy had been sapped from several different things.
Yes, we did a lot. We did a lot before the concert.
But yeah, when the boys are up, we up. When the boys go down, we sit. Like that's
was one moment I was like, can y'all take a break? Because I got to sit down. Because I'm not going to sit down while they're still on stage.
Right.
But I am a little teeny part of my brain was like, can y'all go take a break? Because I need a break.
Well, Hobie said, I'm not tired.
They talked to us so much compared to previous concerts. Like, and they truly, like, they always speak from the heart. But when I say this time, it really felt like they were talking to us with no pressure. They were really talking to us this time.
So a lot of Army's going to see some stuff online, but some of what they're not going to be able to see is a lot of their talking points.
Yeah.
Some of what Hobie said on the first day was, if I leave you guys and go in the backstage and see that you have been happy and you're screaming and you're feeling energized, I've done my job.
Yeah.
So I can go home tonight and eat steak and ramen.
So
and
adorable.
like he was looking forward. He was like, I'm gonna do everything I can today, so I
And
can
he followed
reward
through.
myself
I'm
with
just
that
gonna
steak.
spoilers. He followed through.
Yeah,
He
no,
literally
he was eating that
100%
steak.
follow through.
he ate steak all
He made
day
it look
live.
damn good.
You did your job, boy. You did your job.
Enjoy your steak.
I will say too, like, so one difference that I'm not sure how many Army are going to be able to see is that the last day they changed the set list. Like,
They did?
They changed the set list. So the first day, of course, I was just happy to see the boys. I was happy to see even a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears because
That-
none of us saw that.
Blood,
Right.
Sweat, and Tears and Save Me
And
are my
Save
two
Me.
always home skillet songs. Like they are the ones for me. And to finally see that live, it destroyed me, but gave me life
No.
at the same time.
Black Swan.
Yes, and
destroyed
Black
me.
Swan was
God,
incredible.
I
was
love those
so beautiful.
It
Oh.
was.
That
Those
shocked the heck
dancers
out of
showed
me.
out.
They really did.
I didn't expect to get something like that.
No, they
It
really
was
did
all
a
the
special
things.
stage
It was
for
like
Black
they
Swan.
finally blew the dust off what Army said we wanted to see. It's okay. I guess we'll do this one, and this one.
Yes, like
Yeah.
we've mentioned so many times. Y'all would know that we're not the biggest fans of the super pop songs, and I was feeling a little lukewarm when they ended with Permission to Dance because
On
even
that
of
first
the
night,
pop songs,
yeah, I was
Permission to Dance
too.
is the bottom for me. I
Yeah.
actually jammed more to even Dynamite
And
or Butter.
Those songs were very, very hard for me.
But not
to
only
jam
that,
to.
like it's almost like they broke with tradition.
Yes, it did feel like they broke tradition because they y'all know that they always end their song with Army with something sentimental,
Right.
Like
And we need that.
Microcosmos, or like ones that they've done in the past. So I felt a little lukewarm about that, but I will say they made up for everything
On that
Hell of a
I
big
was
time.
disappointed about on the second day.
Yes.
They made up for everything. So first of all, Mimi sat, I'm saying like the first section or the second section to the side of the stage. She was right there looking at their profiles.
I
Because she was the only one sitting by herself the second day.
Because we couldn't get the
yeah, we
amount of
couldn't get
tickets
them
that
together.
we wanted together.
Man, we just started clicking.
So one of us had to sit by themselves, and I volunteered for tribute
Yep.
and absolutely had a blast because I met a junior Army and her mom who had never been to a BTS concert. So I kind of end up being their mentor and kind of guiding them through the entire process. Army, listen, if you're going to come to a BTS concert, please bring water. Like water. You have to have it.
You have to hydrate.
You have to hydrate because you're going to be too physically active, physically, and you're going to be doing a lot of screaming. And when them boys go off the stage, you have to hydrate, or you're not going to make it through this concert.
That is when you sit. Don't keep standing up because for your own physical health, you gonna want to take the breaks when you.
That's
have
why they
time
give you
to
a
take
break.
breaks.
That's why they give us breaks, and you gotta
Absolutely.
take them. But Mimi sat by herself, and then Buana and Quaisha were in their own section, also in the 100s. And next to that section was me and Zoe.
Uh-huh.
We were not too far from a mama and a baby, literal baby Army.
Yes, she was feeding a baby, and it was
Yes.
so cute.
Now he wasn't too young
He was hard
even be
chilling.
out in there. He was old enough to be in public like
he was
that.
bundled up.
He had his head earmuffs on, so
Which
the
was
sound
good,
didn't damage
yeah.
him or anything. And he was at peace. We saw him just
He was
chilling,
knocked
drinking his
out.
bottle.
He
He was, and during the concert, he was sleeping. And that mama, you know, she did the do, and she handled it. She was jamming with him.
She made it work.
in her arms. She made it work. That's Army.
That was
finds a
Army.
way.
That's Army. That's
we had
Army.
another Army by us that I noticed halfway through had binoculars.
Mm.
And I felt like an idiot when
That
I
was
saw
so
her. I was
smart.
like, where are my Army standard issue binoculars?
Oh, that was clever.
It was, and trust and believe, I will have some the next go round.
It was
yes.
still a wonderful view. Like the 100s,
God,
like
the
we
100s.
actually agreed. Y'all know from our other podcast, we were a little upset because we were spoiled that we didn't get floor. But I will say that next time we go to a concert, I'm actually completely fine doing 1 day floor, 1 day 100s. Because 100s is still so close, but you're
Either
comfortable.
100s or the
comfortable.
section right below 100.
You're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they came around, I saw Yoongi's cheekbones.
Oh my
I saw my baby flaunt his hair.
We
Oh,
saw their faces
God.
with our own eyes. And let me tell you, when we saw them coming, like, we got to watch them headed our way.
I couldn't scream. I couldn't breathe. I just stared. I just looked at them. I wanted
We
to
talked
embrace
about that
moment.
too. All of us mentioned that there were moments throughout the concert where you're like going crazy, but then suddenly you just stop. And you're just like stunned.
Taking it in.
You're just absolutely stunned. And in no other situation in my life do I experience something that literally stuns me, where I'm just like, I freeze.
Yeah.
And I'm just
so
staring.
Army, if at all you can do it. I know financially we all struggling. You know, everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
But if at all you can do it, if at all, please try to get 2 days. Because if you've never been to a concert before and you only go 1 day, here's the problem with that. It's a blur.
It is truly a blur.
When I say it's a blur, you're so stunned. It's so much to take in.
That was Chicago.
You can't physically comprehend all of what's happening. That these boys who you've only ever seen on a screen is in front of you. It's if you only have one.
Voices are hitting your ear.
It's too much. That first day is just hi, welcome.
Your brain can't record all of it.
It's not even a matter of recording. All of it is just physically too much to take in. It's like a information overload.
That's true.
But concert version. So you need that second day to actually enjoy it. Because you've had time to comprehend everything that's going to happen, and you're actually seeing them for who and what they are. Like, you definitely need 2 days. You can, if you go 1 day, it's
outside of outside of Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Save Me, and Home, which were the three things that just blew my mind. Outside of that, what really made me feel like they're family and made me feel like, yes, we are literally just chilling with y'all, was when every time they spoke to us and every time at the end, whenever they were giving us their final speeches. So when Hobie was so he was trying to say his name, you know, and then we jumped the gun because we were so excited to finally hear it again. And he was like, whoa, wait, hold on. And then he mentioned, I just like to hear my name. I'm glad you're being honest. We know you do. So we kept saying it over and over.
Yeah.
And then that time when Yoongi, we of course were chanting his name as soon as the camera went on him. And he's so evil to us.
He was such a tease.
He was pretending like, am I hearing y'all properly? Am I listening? Let me slowly take out my earpiece and just try and give my ear to y'all, like get a little closer. And that just, of course, made us go buck wild. Oh, and then
he flings the hair back.
And then that evil son of a gun flings it because he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
He was ready. He was ready to do that.
And damn it, I was accepting of it.
Yeah, I ate all that up. Yeah, I loved it. I loved every minute.
And the thing that really, of course, just destroyed all of Army was the moment we saw our president was crying. We all cried.
It's not like I've been to tons.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That
was a whole lot.
I think that wasn't day 3, but day 4.
Last concert. Yeah, the last concert.
Couldn't hold it in.
He said some things that kind of floored me. He said the reason he had been getting buff was because he felt like he was getting too old and Army wouldn't think he was attractive, or Army wouldn't like him anymore.
He seemed like he was insecure about losing like his youthful charm that especially like, you know, idols in the K-pop industry are really coveted for. And I think every single Army in that room was just blubber because we were like,
what are you talking about?
Like, how could you even?
That kind of initially, my first reaction was, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, we've been together for 8 years. This is what you think of our friendship, our relationship?
Yeah.
You think we're that shallow? But because now all of a sudden you're older and
you think I've been here for this past decade because of how you look?
Yeah. Dude, that's not why we love you. You need to figure out why Army loves you.
I'm glad he told us the truth.
Yes.
And he needed to see us there because now he knows.
He did need to be reassured.
Now he needed to be reassured.
And him saying that actually taught me something about him. I think that it's just part of his personality. I think he is someone who in like his relationships, not just romantic, but all his relationships, needs to be reassured like regularly. And I think that because of us being apart for so long, he wasn't able to really get that from Army,
The
you know?
reassurance.
So I can only imagine how difficult it was for him not having that in-person reassurance. He did specifically say that all of those worries are gone after seeing us, but it so broke my heart for me to think even a little bit of how he must have felt. Yeah, him questioning it.
Which still kind of floored me too, because when I think of Namjoon, I think of confidence. I think of stability.
Right.
And the fact that he was unsure and needed to be reassured kind of helped me see a different side of him.
I was really shocked that Cookie didn't cry.
I feel like he must have been just so happy, you know, like so giddy. Because I feel like Cookie, especially because he's a magnate, he acts the most like a hyperactive puppy. I feel like for him, because to me, he was just bouncing off the walls. Like he couldn't stay still. Like
he couldn't keep his jacket on either.
Yes, he couldn't keep his jacket on. We all know that.
Everybody in the world knows about that.
I feel like for Cookie, he was just so on cloud 9 that he didn't even like stop to really process the rest of his feelings. I feel like for Namjoon,
he put it quite perfectly. He was like, I'm confused. Emotionally, I'm confused.
He said that he was feeling
So I think he put it quite perfectly.
Yeah.
Did y'all see Hobie get choked up?
Yes.
Like he wasn't balling like
Namjoon.
Namjoon, but he had to pause before he spoke. He had to swallow. He got choked
And we've
up.
mentioned in previous podcasts in between us that for, a few years, Hobie has been the most, like, in some ways withdrawn. Like, about opening up. So for me, that made it a lot more impactful for me when he was talking to us so much at the concert, because he was being so open.
And I absolutely fed off it. I really did. God. Everybody knows that Hobie is my bias, and if you don't know.
Yeah.
So your bias, not your bias wrecker?
He's my bias.
Look, we all know that that's her bias.
I told you I was very in tune with Hobie, and I literally fed off of it. He seemed so confident, so happy, so energized, and I just fed off of it.
I do think he spoke more fluently and easily on the second day, and he also said more on the second day.
Yeah, he did. But, the second day for us, that was also the last concert overall.
Jin's birthday.
So, yes. Jin's birthday was technically the 4th on that Saturday, but that was like, we got to celebrate it with him. And I think that was super special for them for so many reasons. Like, one, just because we haven't seen each other for so long. Second, because for Jin, like his military thing just got like pushed again. And he got to celebrate that too with us. And for him, this is, 30, which is a big thing for him. And he's the first member who gets to celebrate his birthday with Army again. Yeah. So that was just so much.
It was special.
I loved that Army showed up with the signs, showed up with the little Army bomb covers, and sang him happy birthday. Yes. And can you guys just think, like, we had the opportunity to sing Jin happy birthday.
Yeah, I know, right?
We sang to Jin.
We did.
Happy birthday.
With all our heart.
Yeah, that was so magical. And he had RJ strapped to his head. He made a speech to us. And, for the birthday stuff, that wasn't rehearsed. Just think about that. For the birthday part, that was totally on the fly. Like his words to us for that section were on the fly, because that was the only day that he got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that he was worried if we would do anything or not.
No.
And then he was like, "Oh, so I guess there really is nothing." And then lo and behold, wow, you did do something.
Yeah.
Of course we were gonna do something for you.
I love how honest he is, because he just straight up said, like, I really liked this. I was looking forward to it.
And I don't know if he got to see, but there were several trucks on the outside of the stadium with him on it saying happy birthday, Jin, and all the boys. But there were several trucks on the outside kind of wishing him happy birthday. So I don't know if he got a chance to even see those.
One thing that kind of rubbed me a sad way, which, I think he should understand at this point. He said that he did feel a little silly putting RJ on his head, but he did it for us. Like, be honest with yourself. You would have done that in your own home. That's something that you are silly. You're a silly individual
Yeah,
naturally,
Jen,
but in a mature way. Like, be honest, homie. You a silly person. We love that.
Well, for Jin too, like, I think that, it's just so interesting because he is so openly goofy, but he's also the oldest. I feel like sometimes he's not sure, like, what people expect of him.
Yes, I can understand that.
Because especially in Korean culture, right? Like,
Exactly.
he's expected, to be, the most
Like, you're 30
together,
now, you need to
mature,
be. I'm surprised
act a
he's not
certain
getting
way.
hounded for marriage.
Yeah, well, we don't know what it's like in his own family.
That's true.
So who knows? But that might be in his mind.
I'm happy to fill in as wifey in the meantime.
How old you are, like, you can.
And that
be
too,
silly.
like,
That's actually what Korean culture taught me.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't have to be 10 or 12 to enjoy things. Like, you know how in American culture, like, when you're young, you can enjoy stuffed animals and you can enjoy, like, little kitty things, but in Korean culture, they don't let that go just because they're not 10 anymore.
It's not seen as just like a childhood thing.
Right. It's not seen as a childhood thing. And so I've thoroughly embraced that. And I'm a better person for it. So just because you like things when you were young doesn't mean you can't like them now.
But it was honestly so magical, and
Oh my God.
I loved, like, as upset as Namjoon's words made me, I was also grateful to be able to, like, be there
him, yes,
to hear
for
it
we
and
love
cry
you,
about
no matter
it and
what.
tell him that he was freaking crazy about that.
Yeah.
Because as we've said time and time again, we are here for life.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all are gonna be 80 years old,
Literally.
on that freaking walker,
Right.
And I'll still
And
be
you
holding.
still better come out on stage and just chill
Exactly.
Yeah.
My Army Bomb
'Cause I'ma tell
version
you-
324.
I'm going to tell you, Namjoon, you look better today than you have when 8 years ago.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh my God.
They just keep looking better.
And when they
better
get that
every
melanin
year.
popping in the skin, ooh.
Yeah, they truly do
Oh,
keep looking
thank
better.
God, Lord.
I'm gonna have no problem with you guys getting older.
None.
I'll tell you that.
Better
None.
with
I
age.
think also another thing is that they're going into uncharted territory.
That's true.
I mean, you have Big Bang that was around for a long while, and then
We
you
all
had,
know what
like,
happened to Big Bang.
Shiny that was around for a long time,
But the boys are the
but
first ones.
their fandoms kind of
The boys are the strongest they've ever been. in
right.
terms
They're
of
still at the
popularity.
top of the
Game.
the food chain, and they're older.
And they're now going into the time period where all other groups like them have expired, and they're
Literally.
the strongest they've ever been.
Yeah.
But the boys have always been trailblazers
Yeah.
for the industry. But I think I'll just talk about this briefly because it's a whole nother conversation. I am curious to see where Hybe and the boys go in the future, just because as soon as we got back, not just the Instagram thing, I read about how 3 of the oldest members sold a bunch of their stocks, which I thought was kind of weird. That's something I'm keeping in my back of my mind. I'm just going to say some of my business predictions have been correct so far. And I thought it was also interesting that they started their own Instagrams. It just like, I'm already seeing, these are small, but they are specifically acts of independence.
True.
Is what I'm saying.
True.
So I'm not going to speculate anything from them at this stage, but I'm simply acknowledging that they are showing some pretty big signs of independence right now in their
Which
I hope
they freaking earned.
I hope they open their own agency and govern themselves.
their
I
contract
hope
is
they
up
open
in
their
24,
own agency
so.
and then let Army run it. Because, we know us better than anybody, and
Why
we're going to be
not?
organized.
But I think the next 2 years are going to be so
Telling.
and I think it's going to be pretty jam-packed, not just for the boys because we don't know what's going to happen in continuing schedules, but we're also planning to go to Korea
We are.
in the next year.
Yes.
So I wonder if we might learn something from actually being there too. But
But
all in all, last things about the concert themselves.
Well, let me tell you, the last time I told you all about the time that I had ran up to the stage and Hobie was right there. And I was like, Hobie, look. And he never looked down. Well, when they took that little trolley thing all around the stadium, I saw him and he looked dead, at least from my perspective, he looked dead in my eyes and I literally couldn't handle it. I couldn't. It was like looking into sunlight. I literally
Well, she was looking at our sunshine.
I literally couldn't handle it, and like I almost died. So
Mimi
that
got right up to the barrier.
Oh yes, right there, like literally.
The rest
right
of
there.
us were pretty far back, like the back row of our sections, but Mimi was right.
I
went right up to the front.
I went to the front row.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
And I feel stupid for not doing it. Yeah, we were too stunned. I mean, look.
How could we not have done that? Yeah.
Mimi had the foresight of, since she was right at the first section, they started there. But me and Zoe were stunned already because we saw them coming. We'd like, imagine just watching them walking towards you. Are you going to move? Are you going to do anything?
Like, I don't want to move because I don't want to miss anything.
Exactly. I wasn't blinking, y'all.
Yeah,
I wasn't blinking.
You have to drink them in. You really do.
My final take on the whole thing is, out of the concerts that we've been to, of course, Chicago is the best one.
Oh, yeah.
Best experience. And then Dallas was the best, most partying experience that I had. This one was the most I felt like family with them.
This was the most magical.
Because of how they communicated with us and how they literally were just chilling with us the entire time, partying. So this was the first time I really felt like family.
Yeah, and you can tell they missed us. And I hope they could tell that we missed them.
For me, I mentioned to the girls once we got out of the concert that I didn't realize how much I was suppressing my feelings about them and how much I missed them and everything until you actually saw them. Like, everything just came out. Especially the first day, I was like, "Oh my God, I've missed you so freaking much."
You have to hold that stuff in. You have to,
because you can't deal with
cope.
it. Exactly, to cope.
And I would agree. That's a great way to put it, Sarah. I would agree. Everything. The moment them babies came out on that stage and my ball finally changed light blue.
Everything just came out.
It just came
out. Oh my God.
I was just like, where have y'all been? I've missed you. I love you. Jeez.
It's almost like, I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but it's almost like I cut off one of my limbs and put it in a box and just pretended like it never existed just to cope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I finally realized I've been without a freaking leg for 2 years. Oh my God. This is so hard. It was so overwhelming. And I was just...
Overwhelming is the word I was looking for earlier.
It was so much. And especially like Chicago was my first time. And so for me, I was so grateful that this wasn't my first time I could fully be there. Like,
in the moment.
Yes, for me, this really felt in the moment for me. Just watching them and being with them. So it was just perfect.
It was. So that's what you need to strive for when you go to BTS concerts. It's more about striving to be in the moment, because to me that is the deepest and most meaningful thing you will get out of it. But it's so hard to be in the moment if you've never seen them before. It's so hard to be in the moment if it's just too overwhelming. And the more you go to the concerts, the more you learn to master being in the moment and taking them in.
So the last thing I wanted to say, Bawana mentioned that because of her take on the concert and how they were, like, you know, it's post-pandemic, kind of post-pandemic, and, you know, it was more of us just chilling with them. So also for ARMY, it's been forever since we did the wave for them. And Namjoon, bless him, he literally was teaching us all over again. So no, and then eventually he was like, "Okay, ARMY, thank you. Yeah. It's been 2 years. Thank you, ARMY. I know."
I think
like,
Floor,
you too fast. Floor, you too fast. You got to go slow.
They were literally holding our hands.
I did think that the boys themselves were a little rusty on instructing us to do that too.
Yeah.
Because the second day, RM didn't take first captain on that. Yoongi came in and was like, "Oh, all right, no. Let me tell them what to do.
Yeah,
this is how it's gonna go." Yeah. But I loved that, and you know what?
Go ahead.
I will say, as much as it seemed like I was bashing ARMY before, I did really love. There was still plenty of ARMY Strong culture there, and there were so many goodies being given out, and there were so many good vibes.
So many goodies. ARMYs, thank you for all the gifts that
awesome.
you gave out when we were waiting in line.
There
and
was
we were
plenty
just
of
walking
true
around.
Army strong Army within all the other whoever the heck was there.
You really don't know how appreciated your gifts are, because there was an Army who couldn't come to this concert, and all the freebies that I got, minus 2 things, because like, look, let's just keep it real, I gave to that Army. So it's thank you. And I think as a group we decided that
we're going to be giving out goodies.
We're going to be
next time.
giving out goodies next time.
One more thing, Yoongi, I don't remember which day he said it. I think it was the last day, his final speech. He mentioned in English, and you know how my predictions are.
Yeah, he
I
did
will
say that.
So he knows he has sugar power.
Yeah.
He said, you know how my predictions are. And so you know how I know we will see you again. So I love that he acknowledged that.
I
Yeah.
really believe it, to the point where I am going to be saving for the next concert.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
just burned a hole and I'm out of my free hotel nights, y'all.
Exactly.
So-
I know.
Look. You know that's how we roll. We go into debt over our boys.
So I think that the conclusion of all this is it was heaven on earth.
It literally
It
was.
was. And for all you Army who didn't get to go, like, I am truly honored for us to have been there to
Right.
represent all of Army.
Yeah, who couldn't make
We
it?
couldn't make it. We were thinking of you. I promise we were.
Oh God, we were.
Yeah, but
And we
With
partied
that-
hard for you.
we
did.
partied hard.
I literally
I
got
lost
to
my
my
mind.
knees.
I didn't even mention because I was so drunk with the boys. I had food poisoning the second day.
Oh,
And
I forgot
was
about
still jumping around, hopping around, probably making it worse. That's probably why I was so bad by the end of the night. But you know what, My stomach held on to get through the boys before it went bad and went
Food
south.
poisoning said, "What? You going to the BTS?" We'll take a pause for a moment.
We'll be back later, but you enjoy your
So
time.
be prepared for that. But right now, it's okay.
And as painful it was, I didn't even, like, mentally, I didn't mind too much because I was like, you know what, stomach, you didn't bother me during the concert, so you just do what you
There
need
you
to do
go.
right
Get it
now.
out the system. Yeah.
Literally.
But with that,
right now, you know, Army.